I don't know if the music would really be the way it is if I hadn't started meditating. The first thing that came obvious to me, like in the early days of doing it, was that my unfocused mind, or my subconscious, whatever you want to call it, was like full, and I mean full to the brim, overflowing with this like poison, resentment, anger, jealousy, guilt, shame, and I wanted to get rid of all of it. And I thought that you could do that with meditation, but then I came to realize that actually it's not possible to just switch it off. And what you're really learning to do is to cope with it, being there from time to time by bringing awareness to it. And that's always going to be better than just letting it sit in your subconscious.
Yeah.
And then when I decided to start writing music for this record, I thought that I just wouldn't be right if I didn't address all of that darkness. Beginner's Mind is really about acceptance, trying to come to terms with who I really am and just putting it out there. I wrote all of these compositions in the past year, so I believe that it provides an accurate kind of impression of what I've been going through, what I've been feeling, and I believe that journey of like self-acceptance has added an extra layer of vividness, to the compositions, and I think it's also informed the way that we recorded the music. With the first EP, I wanted a lot of separation on the instruments so we could mix it exactly the way we wanted to. I wanted everyone to play to a click, so everything was perfectly in time. I didn't want any of that with this record. We just put the mics up and played through the music, and that was that pretty much. Also helped to have a couple of great musicians to help me play the music. Michele is really like just the musician's musician, always trying to be better, dedicated to the life, which I think we have in common. And Finn might well be one of the most natural musicians that I've ever played with, so I feel lucky. There's nothing cutting edge about my music, I know that, but if I have a voice, I believe that it comes from really trying to reconcile all of my musical experiences and trying to use all of the voices, all of the things that move me about music, and also trying to really find my own personal truth and express that. You can build your whole life out of distraction in order to not be with your actual thoughts, which might trigger emotions that make you feel uncomfortable, ashamed, or resentful. And the world that we live in is perfectly happy to cater to that way of life. The problem is, which I've found, the more you look away, the more difficult those thoughts become to deal with. And even though you're not consciously dealing with them, they can poison your outlook. They affect your behavior, the way you deal with people, the way that you see yourself. And then, as happened in my life, when things started going wrong externally and I needed internal stability, I couldn't find it. So over the past year, I've been trying to pinpoint what I use to distract myself, and coming to the realization that I use music in that way made me feel guilty, because that was my biggest distraction. I had sort of come up with this idea that as long as I take care of music, everything else in my life will sort itself out. I really thought that. I was engaged in a kind of narcissistic way of thinking, you know, I'm the underdog, I work the hardest, I deserve something. Once I release my music, my life's going to change for the better. I was projecting into a fantasy somewhere in the future instead of living the life that was right in front of me. And it tarnished my relationship with music, and it made me so much less of a person. And so, in trying to find a way to address my issues of not being comfortable with my own thoughts, I sort of stumbled across meditation. I realized that I wanted to be more in touch with the present, my life as it's happening right in front of me. And meditation is a way for me to do that. And although the act of meditating is simple, doing it regularly is not easy. But if you do it, you will learn something. And it can guide you to a way of life which is more truthful. And so the two things that I've come away with so far are, number one, I don't want to be defined by music. I want to be defined by my relationships with people. And two, I want music to be, I want to be able to cherish it as a gift, and I want to use it not as a way to boost my ego or to avoid having thoughts, but as a way to express who I am, the good and the bad, as honestly as possible. That's what I'm striving for.
Rolling in.